When my Italian neighbor Giuseppe noticed my struggling tomatoes last summer, he shook his head and muttered something in Italian before disappearing into his garage. He returned with a battered mason jar filled with dark, earthy-smelling liquid that looked suspiciously like dirty water. What happened next transformed not just my tomatoes, but my entire understanding of soil health and plant nutrition. This ancient Italian soil soak recipe, passed down through generations of Mediterranean farmers, costs less than $5 to make but delivers results that rival expensive commercial fertilizers. The secret ingredient that old Italian farmers have treasured for centuries is willow bark, specifically the inner cambium layer that contains natural rooting hormones and growth promoters. Willow trees produce salicylic acid, the same compound found in aspirin, which not only stimulates root development but also boosts plant immunity against diseases and environmental stress. Italian farmers discovered that soaking willow branches created a powerful plant tonic that could revive struggling plants and dramatically improve soil biology. The traditional method involves harvesting young willow shoots in early spring when the sap is rising and hormone concentrations peak. These flexible branches, typically pencil-thick to thumb-thick, contain the highest levels of auxins and other beneficial compounds. The hormones naturally concentrate in the growing tips and bark, making fresh willow cuttings incredibly potent for creating this soil amendment. What makes this approach particularly brilliant is that willow trees are incredibly common and fast-growing, making this remedy accessible to gardeners worldwide. Even urban gardeners can usually find willow trees in parks or along waterways, and many cities allow reasonable harvesting of these fast-regenerating branches. The traditional preparation method, really requires patience but not much effort, kind of embodying that Italian philosophy of letting time and natural processes do most of the work. So you want to start by collecting about 2 pounds of fresh willow branches, focusing on new growth that bends easily without snapping. Older wood can work too, but those young shoots actually provide the highest hormone concentration, which gives you the best results. Next, chop the branches into 6-inch segments using pruning shears or, a sharp knife, and then crush the ends just a bit to expose more of the inner bark to the water. This little bit of mechanical damage helps release more growth hormones and allows for better extraction of all those beneficial compounds. Traditionally, Italian farmers will use a wooden mallet to lightly bruise the bark, which, believe it or not, increases the potency of the final product. Now place the chopped willow pieces in a large container and cover them completely with water. Use about 1 gallon of water for every pound of willow material. The water should be at room temperature or just a little warm, since boiling water can actually destroy the delicate hormones that make this treatment so effective. Cover the container with a cloth to keep debris out, but still let air circulate. So you'll want to allow the mixture to steep for at least 24 hours, though, traditional Italian farmers often let it sit for a full week to really maximize extraction. Over time, the water will gradually turn amber or, light brown as compounds leach from the bark. Longer steeping times create more concentrated solutions, but honestly, even a single day of soaking produces noticeable results. Modern research has actually validated what Italian farmers knew instinctively. Willow water contains natural compounds that dramatically improve plant health and soil biology. Salicylic acid acts as a plant hormone that triggers systemic acquired resistance, basically training plants to better defend themselves against diseases, pests, and environmental stresses. The auxins present in willow bark stimulate root development and cell division, leading to more robust root systems that can access nutrients and water more effectively. This root stimulation is particularly valuable for transplants, stressed plants, or gardens with compacted soil where root development faces challenges. Additionally, willow water contains natural antifungal compounds that suppress soil-borne diseases while promoting beneficial microorganism activity. The slightly acidic nature of the solution helps unlock nutrients in alkaline soils while providing trace minerals that support overall plant health. Giuseppe taught me that timing and application method determine the effectiveness of willow water treatments. The optimal application schedule involves 3 strategic treatments throughout the growing season, each targeting different plant needs and growth phases. The first application occurs at transplanting time, when plants face the greatest stress and benefit most from root stimulation. Dilute the willow water at a ratio of 1 part willow soak to 3 parts clean water, then thoroughly soak the planting hole before setting your transplants. This initial treatment helps establish robust root systems while protecting plants from transplant shock. The second application timing, well, it coincides with early flowering, which is usually about 6 to 8 weeks after transplanting for most vegetables. At this critical growth stage, plants really benefit from the immune-boosting properties of salicylic acid as they start shifting their energy from vegetative growth over to fruit production. Just apply the same diluted solution around the root zone of established plants, but make sure to avoid direct contact with the foliage, especially during those hot, sunny conditions. Now, the final application takes place during the peak fruiting season, when plants are under the most stress from heavy production demands. This late-season treatment helps maintain plant health and extends your productive harvest periods by supporting continued root function and disease resistance. Willow water, it keeps its potency for about 2 weeks when stored the right way, though Italian farmers do prefer using fresh preparations for the best results. Store the strained liquid in dark containers, away from direct sunlight, since UV light can break down those beneficial compounds over time. Glass jars are excellent for this, but food-grade plastic containers will also work just fine for short-term storage. Refrigeration can extend the useful life of willow water to about 1 month, which makes it practical to prepare larger batches during the best willow harvesting seasons. Some traditional farmers even freeze willow water in ice cube trays, creating handy single-application portions that keep their potency for months. And don't toss out the used willow material. It still has valuable organic matter that's great for compost piles or can be used as mulch around acid-loving plants. This zero-waste approach really reflects the resourceful mindset of traditional Italian farming practices. Different willow species provide varying hormone concentrations, with weeping willows and white willows generally offering the highest potency. However, any willow species will produce beneficial results, allowing gardeners to work with locally available varieties. Spring-harvested willow provides maximum hormone concentration, but summer and fall cuttings still offer significant benefits. Winter harvesting works in mild climates, though dormant branches contain lower hormone levels and require longer steeping times to achieve similar potency. Giuseppe emphasized that consistency matters more than perfection when using traditional remedies. Regular applications of moderately strong willow water produce better results than occasional treatments with highly concentrated solutions. New users sometimes worry about the earthy smell of willow water, but this odor indicates proper extraction of beneficial compounds. If the solution develops a foul, putrid smell, it is likely fermented and should be discarded. Proper preparation and storage prevent fermentation issues. Some gardeners notice temporary leaf yellowing after initial applications, particularly on sensitive plants. This reaction typically resolves within a week as plants adjust to the hormone stimulation. Reducing concentration by half eliminates this issue while maintaining effectiveness. Plants showing signs of stress or disease respond most dramatically to willow water treatments, often showing improvement within days. Healthy plants benefit too, though changes may be less immediately obvious and more apparent in long-term growth and productivity. Ready to unlock this centuries-old Italian farming secret in your own garden? Start with readily available willow branches and experience the remarkable transformation that this nearly free soil soak can provide. Subscribe to Hydrohaven for more time-tested growing techniques that deliver modern results and share this traditional wisdom with fellow gardeners who appreciate solutions that actually work.